Your Disney World trip has been planned for months. You booked your perfect hotel, got all the dining reservations you were hoping for, but things are not living up to your dream Disney trip. Disney let you down. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. Disney World is a magical place and our team has so many amazing memories there. We're always hearing from you guys about your stellar Disney trips too, but things aren't always picture perfect. Today we're talking about Disney World's biggest letdowns. We asked our team here at DFB and we went straight to you guys on Instagram to learn about when you felt that Disney came up a little short. We got a lot to talk about, some controversial opinions, some total bummers, and some things you can avoid with a little planning. So let's get into that. First up are rides that disappointed you. Disney World has some incredible, groundbreaking, stunning rides, but according to our followers on Instagram, quite a few of them just didn't live up to the hype. We're starting our list off over in Animal Kingdom, where our Instagram followers were decidedly not impressed with the rides in Pandora, the world of Avatar. Na'vi River Journey was one of the top responses when we asked about Disney's biggest letdowns. One person said this ride is beautiful but boring, and that they bumped into other boats the whole ride too. This ride is a slow-moving boat ride. There's definitely some wow factor from all the bioluminescent plants and projection technology. It's definitely gorgeous, but there's no thrill and the plotline is lost on a lot of people. Another Instagram user said, cool animatronic, but a lame ride. The animatronic at the end of the ride is definitely the highlight. It's one of the most impressive in all of Disney World. Still, most people said they'd avoid a long wait for this one, but if you're visiting Disney when Animal Kingdom has shorter park hours, this is a good opportunity to see what the land looks like at night when everything is lit up. Though someone on our team is not impressed with the design of Pandora at night, they said the bioluminescence is cool in theory, but it looks like the glowy stuff from a 5K race. So if you find yourself in Animal Kingdom at night, it's worth a visit to see the land lit up, but if it's gonna mess up your plans to see some glowy plants, then you can probably just skip it. Now, Pandora's other ride, Flight of Passage, is often touted as one of the most innovative and best rides in Disney World, but does it really live up to the hype? I think it does, but some other people didn't. A few members of the DFB team felt that this ride was overhyped, and when they finally got a chance to ride, it was just like Soarin'. I disagree. I'm gonna find out who those people are, and I'm gonna tell them they're wrong. Anyway, the two rides both have that flying aspect, but the level of immersion and technology on Flight of Passage is a big step up from Soarin'. I personally feel that this ride is pretty incredible and a must-do for everyone visiting Animal Kingdom, but if the line is crazy long and you're short on time, you might be able to skip it if you're not into simulator rides. Several people on Instagram said that Animal Kingdom as a whole was a bit of a letdown and that there are not enough rides. Well, there are certainly fewer rides than Magic Kingdom, but this park has a lot more to offer. You got the animal trails, interactive activities around the park, some amazing food, and some of the best entertainment in all of Disney World. Not all of that is around right now, though. Festival of the Lion King is returning this summer, but it's not here yet. So a lot of people consider Animal Kingdom to be a half-day park again. It's up to you if you agree, but there's a lot happening in this park that's a little outside of the standard theme park atmosphere, and I think it's worth digging in and experiencing all the little things there. Now moving over to Magic Kingdom, a lot of folks felt that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was a bit of a letdown. One Instagram follower said, although I love Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I feel it was overhyped. I still can't believe how long the line is. Now lines definitely do get long for this one as it's one of the top rides in the park, and it's definitely one to grab a fast pass for when the service returns. Plus, if you're looking for thrills, this coaster probably won't hit the mark. It's nearly as thrilling as Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, but certainly less thrilling than Space Mountain. Another Instagram follower said Disney hyped it up so much before it opened, and it's so short. Now, the coaster part is kinda on the short side. This ride combines a coaster and a dark ride, so you've got Disney animatronics and a storyline to go along with your thrills. The ride is just short of 3 minutes in duration, which puts it right on par with Magic Kingdom's other coaster, though breaking up the action might make it feel shorter. The next two rides on this list are in Epcot. First up is Soarin'. Maybe these are the same people who aren't into Flight of Passage. If you're not into simulator rides and prefer physical coasters and rides that move through sets, then rides like Soarin' might always be a letdown for you. This ride simulates hang gliding over sites around the world with scents pumped in and air blown across your face and splashes of water to make everything seem more real. One of our followers said, I just can't get into it when I see people's feet. That definitely takes you out of the virtual experience, doesn't it? Well, you can request to sit in section B1 to avoid having any feet blocking your view, and that'll put you right in the center so the screen isn't bent from your perspective. Disney isn't allowing specific seat requests right now with social distancing, but it's a tip to keep in mind for the future. On the other side of Epcot is Mission Space, which always makes our We Asked Our Readers videos with lots of comments about how much people hate it. This ride is known to cause a whole lot of motion sickness, and it doesn't have the biggest fan base. As one of our followers said, all that initial hype just to be squeezed into a tube to watch TV. The ride vehicle is a little pod, and it's tight and tiny in there, and yep, this is another simulator ride where you're watching the action of taking off in a rocket on a little screen in front of you. The orange side of this attraction is about the closest to a real shuttle launch that you can get and produces 2.5 Gs, so it's intense and apparently a bit overwhelming. If there's one ride on this list that gets a pass from me, it's this one. If you're not into simulators, if you're prone to motion sickness, and if you're claustrophobic, you'll want to probably skip this one and not worry that you're missing out on a best ride at Disney World. And our last ride in this section of the video is another one that's a bit contentious. We're talking Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run. Yet again, another simulator ride has let Disney fans down. If you're a Star Wars fan, you'll love this one no matter what. It's so cool to step inside that cockpit of that famous hunk of junk. But if you're not into Star Wars, you might be totally disappointed if you don't get the pilot position. The pilot position is awesome. You actually get to steer the ship and affect the ride. All the other positions are just a lot of pushing buttons. And now with the updates with plexiglass and social distancing changes here, if you're a party of 1 or 2, you may be combined with another group. But if you're in a group of 4 or 6, you can guarantee that someone in your party is going to get the pilot seat. You can always ask a cast member, and you should be able to wait to get the pilot spot. You'll definitely want to, because in my opinion, the other positions are kind of a letdown. Alright, the next big, huge letdown for our Disney World fans, not getting on Rise of the Resistance when it's the one thing you want to do. This is another big bummer for Star Wars fans. The one thing you're going to want to do, besides maybe buy a lightsaber, is to ride Rise of the Resistance, but that's a lot easier said than done. We polled our followers, and 68% of those who responded were unable to get a spot in the virtual queue for this ride. Some said that boarding groups were gone within seconds, and others experienced some technical glitches that kept them from getting a boarding pass. Always take screenshots in case something goes wrong while you're trying to get that boarding pass. If the app doesn't recognize your ticket when you're trying to get in the virtual queue, take a screenshot and talk to a cast member at the park. You can prove you were trying to get a boarding pass at the right time and something went wrong, and they may be able to help you out. One of you said there are just too many hoops to jump through. And another 9% of our followers got a boarding group but didn't end up being able to ride because of ride breakdowns. There are a lot of parts to this ride, and as one of our followers said, it breaks down a lot. Yep, it totally does. Plan a second day in Hollywood Studios if Rise of the Resistance is at the top of your must-do list. That will give you more opportunities to ride just in case something goes wrong the first time. And remember, you need to have a park pass for Hollywood Studios in order to ride Rise of the Resistance, so book those park passes in advance. Okay, the next on our list of Disney World letdowns, Hollywood Studios. Yep, Hollywood Studios. The whole park. This one was kind of surprising. So many of you felt really strongly about being let down by this entire park. Rise of the Resistance may be stressful, and Millennium Falcon may be frustrating if you don't get to pilot, but our respondents, including some people on our team, are just not into this park as a whole. One of our followers said, it has good rides, but it's not cohesive and can't compare to the other parks, while another said there's too much IP, which of course means intellectual property, and in this case that means Disney movies and brands like Toy Story or Star Wars. Hollywood Studios has always been about the movies, and for a long time that meant seeing how they're made through animation exhibits and backlot tours. Now you're literally stepping inside your favorite films, but for a while things felt very disjointed in the park, and some folks still argue that it does. You travel from Andy's backyard and Toy Story right into a galaxy far, far away, and then into the Muppets, and then the other side of the park is Hollywood in the 1930s with Aerosmith thrown in. Yeah, it lacks some cohesion. Toy Story Land was mentioned a few times by both our team and Instagram followers as being a bit of a letdown, with a common theme of there should be more. All right, another big letdown you guys let us know about was getting a crummy hotel view. We're moving on from rides to some of the other rough situations you might find yourself in while you're on your vacation in Disney World, which of course you spent a lot of money to take. You've spent months researching hotels. You're sure you've picked the perfect one for your family. The lobby is stunning. You're so excited about the pool. And then you check into your room and you're looking at a fountain when you paid for a water view. Well, to be fair, that is water, but it's a big letdown. down and kind of tricky of Disney. Disney's got a lot of room categories. You're going to notice that as soon as you start booking or researching your trip. And some, like preferred rooms, will guarantee you are in a location that's more convenient to the hotel's main amenities. Others, like water view rooms, are kind of hit or miss. You could end up with a great view of Crescent Lake, or you could end up looking at a pond. When you book those specific room categories, also call your hotel and request a more specific view or location. Remember though, keep your request a bit broader. If you request a certain room number, you're a lot less likely to get it than if you say you'd like a view of the lake. And along the same lines, our next one on this video list is getting stuck at a non-fireworks view table. Booking a dinner reservation during the fireworks can be an awesome experience if you end up at the right table. It takes a bit of planning for restaurants with great fireworks views like California Grill, Ohana and Arcusi's for Magic Kingdom fireworks, Rose and Crown, Hacienda de San Angel and Spice Road Table for Epcot fireworks, or Topolino's Terrace in Toledo for Epcot and Hollywood Studios fireworks. You'll first need to know when the fireworks are happening, and then you'll need to book as far in advance as possible, as most of these restaurants are popular, and especially book upcoming fireworks time. We recommend making your reservation for about 50 minutes before the show is supposed to start. Then when you arrive, ask at the podium for a fireworks view table. Not just a window view, a fireworks view. It will all depend on availability, but if they can accommodate you, they will, and trust me, it will make your experience a lot better. That's probably the big reason you picked that restaurant, to watch the fireworks from your table, so you don't want to have a bad view. But believe me, I have spent so many stressed out days in Disney World worried about the table I would get at my restaurant, which I guess is why I run this blog, but two pieces of advice for you when it comes to that sort of stress around your Disney World trip. First of all, it's just not that serious. Yeah, you want to see the fireworks. Hope for a firework table, but be okay if you don't get one. And two, please don't do what I did and stress out and have such severe anxiety over what table you're going to get that you don't even enjoy your day in Disney World. I know it sounds crazy. That's how I sometimes can be, but it's true. That is how I sometimes can be. And I know that a lot of you guys are in the same anxiety boat when it comes to your huge Disney World trip that you're paying tons of money for, just like me. So I get it. I'm with you. I'm there. But try to make your peace with that before you go to Disney World so you can actually enjoy your day. Okay, the next big letdown that we've heard about from our followers and our team is when it rains during your whole vacation. This is another thing I used to get abnormally anxious about with my Disney World trips. I would just check the weather like obsessively all day for weeks before I went to Disney World because I knew I was only going to be there for 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. And of course I was predicting rain every single day. It's Florida. It's a tropical atmosphere. There's a lot of rain. So just be prepared that it's going to rain every single day. And then if it doesn't, bonus, but you can still have a great time in the rain. Now, Florida weather is fickle. So if you're traveling June through November, there's a good chance it's going to rain for a big chunk of your vacation. That can be a huge bummer. And if that's going to ruin everything for you, then Disney World's not the right choice that time of year. Go during the winter instead. You're much less likely to run into that daily rain than you are during hurricane season, which is basically June to November. But otherwise, you're just going to have to power through. Wear shoes that are still comfortable when they get wet, pack a poncho, an umbrella, bask in the knowledge that most people will clear out of the parks when it starts to rain, giving you a bunch of short lines for rides. There are silver linings, there are benefits to being in the parks when it's raining. But again, don't let the anxiety just rule you. It's going to rain when you're in Disney World. That's what it does in Florida. So just be prepared for it and be okay with it. All right, let's move on to the section of our video that's one of my favorites, the food that let us down. We've delved into some of our less favored foods in our videos here on DFB, but we had to mention at least 2 items that received so many responses from our team and you guys on Instagram. You were so disappointed by these that we had to pass along the message. First up, blue milk, that weird, slushy, kind of fruity, bizarrely sweet Star Wars beverage that you have to try, but chances are you won't love it. This drink is really iconic for Star Wars fans, and it's basically a rite of passage for visiting Galaxy's Edge, but the flavor is just not there if you ask our followers and our team. But you've got to try this one and decide for yourself. Some people love it. Let us know in the comments if you do. And all right, this next one is a little tough for me, but a lot of you on Instagram said you are not fans. I can't believe I'm saying this. I really can't. Not fans of the spring rolls in Magic Kingdom's Adventureland. I don't know how to move on with this video, but I'm gonna power through. All right, these spring rolls have been a DFB favorite for a while now. Cheeseburger and pepperoni pizza are the standards, and I think they're delicious. However, some of you are just not digging them. Now, I'm not here to tell you that something is hands down the best food. We here at DFB tell you what an item is, what the ingredients are, what it's like, so you can decide for yourself if it's something you and your family are going to enjoy. Now, these spring rolls are definitely not a typical spring roll, and if you're not a fan of odd twists on foods and melty, gooey, cheesy snacks, there are plenty of things you'll probably love in Magic Kingdom, but it might not be these spring rolls. We try to be as unbiased as possible so you don't encounter a snack that is totally not your style, but get it anyway and get let down. We cover a ton of snacks on DisneyFoodblog.com in our weekly news videos. We talk about everything we ate, but if you want to know about every single snack, head to dfbstore.com and pick up one of our snack guides. You'll get the full rundown on what you'll find in each park. You'll see pictures of everything, costs, details, reviews, etc. We have snack guides for every park. Remember to use code YouTube to get a discount on those or any of our other guides. That's going to be your go-to when it comes to snacks in Disney World. And we really try. We try to be unbiased and to say this is what it's like. But for those of you who do not like those spring rolls, I'm sorry. I will happily take your leftovers. All right, the next big letdown in Disney World, according to you guys and our team, are the construction delays. The park closures last year meant a lot of construction projects were put on hold or extended. And there were two in particular that are seriously bumming out our Instagram followers. The first one, Space 220. The restaurant at Epcot that will simulate eating on the space station. We've been talking about it for 2 years now. It was supposed to open in 2019. So when one of our followers said, I expected it to be ready by now, we've got to agree. Things are looking more promising for this restaurant to open sometime in the near future. Construction does seem to be wrapping up, but we're still not sure when we'll finally get to experience it. And even though Epcot will be opening some new rides this year, we're going to have to wait until 2022 to ride the Tron coaster in Magic Kingdom. A lot of you said you're let down that Tron won't be ready this year, and we are too. This ride's going to be awesome and bring the thrill factor to Magic Kingdom, but we'll have to wait a bit longer. At least we won't be battling anniversary crowds and new ride crowds in Magic Kingdom this October, but still kind of a bummer. And the next thing you guys were let down by when it comes to Disney World are those discontinued Disney perks. With the park closures and general uncertainty of things over the past year, we've seen a lot of cutbacks on perks offered to Disney park goers and hotel guests. This was probably the bulk of the comments we received. People were disappointed that Disney guests seemed to be getting less and less. Fast Pass and Extra Magic Hours have been discontinued, meaning you have to wait in the standby line for every ride, and hotel guests don't have any exclusive early access to the parks before they open to the public. Fast Pass has been discontinued to help Disney manage line capacities with social distancing regulations, and they're bringing back a new form of early entry for hotel guests in the future. Early entry will let Disney hotel guests in each of the parks 30 minutes before opening every day of the week. And that time might seem short, but you can definitely get at least one top ride in before the park officially opens. Disney's also announced that the Magical Express that provided free transportation to and from the airport will be ending at the end of 2021. We're waiting to hear if there's going to be a new free transportation option for Disney guests, but there are plenty of paid options to get you where you need to go in the event that Disney doesn't offer a new free service. We'll be watching this space closely because we know it's a big deal for a lot of you and for us. Another recent change was a disappointment for many of you. No more Magic Bands. Hotel guests used to get a free Magic Band with their reservation. Now you can get one at a discount or use one from a previous trip. New bands cost anywhere from $5 to $30 for hotel guests, depending on the design, but you can always opt to use a free key card if you don't want to drop the money on a wristband that will accomplish the same basic function. What was the biggest letdown for you this year? Wish you could get a free Magic Band for your next trip? Or maybe you think people who responded to this are way off the mark with saying Flight of Passage is overhyped. Let us know what you think about this list in the comments. We'd love to hear your letdowns or hear your disagreements with these ones. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching. And to all of our Instagram followers, thank you guys so much for contributing when we ask these kinds of questions. It's really helpful for us to see what you're thinking and what you need to know about Disney and your Disney World trips. And it's helpful for our other viewers to see what you guys think based on your vacations in Disney World. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.